Chosen one, 21 days is how long Daniel waited before Archangel Michael broke through with the answer his spirit had been listening for. Not because God delayed, but because the messenger was contending in a place Daniel could not see. Tonight, the same Archangel is standing in the same posture at the threshold of your life, and the waiting you have been protesting for weeks was never evidence of absence. It was evidence of assembly. The Father refused to give you the message in pieces, because pieces would not have held. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are not the one who missed it. You are the vessel whose hands had to be emptied, and the losses, the silences, the unreturned prayers were what finished the emptying. The dam that was holding back the whole reply is coming down tonight. Every question you carried is meeting its answer inside a single unveiling. So, mark this hour, close every other window, place your feet flat. Archangel Michael has arrived. The Father's mouth has opened. And what pours out in the next minutes is not fragments. It is everything. Receive. Before I go one more step, I want to say something plain. Everything I share with you tonight is free. It belongs to you. And if at any point in this message your spirit tells you that there is more you need for this season, you will find what you need in the description and in the pinned comment below. Do not click until you feel led, only if this is your moment. What I am about to walk you through over the next while is not a single teaching. It is a full message. I promised the Father before I began that I would not give it to you in half. So, let me tell you exactly what this hour holds. I will walk you through the 4 specific things the Father has been waiting to tell you. 4 revelations he refused to release in pieces. Identity, timing, assignment, and warning. Each one stands on its own. Together they form the whole account your spirit has been asking for. I will give you a framework for recognizing which of those 4 is speaking to you the loudest tonight, because one of them is more urgent for this season than the others, and you will feel it land the moment we reach it. And I will speak an activation over you at the close of this message that seals everything you have received into your spirit, so that what is given here does not leak out in the first hard week that follows. That is the whole arrangement. Nothing is being held back. Nothing is being saved for some follow-up. Nothing is being stretched to make a simple message sound longer than it is. If you came here tonight with 4 questions, 4 questions will meet their answer. If you came with 1, that one will be dismantled so completely you will wonder how it held you for so long. Stay with me until the final word, not because you owe me your attention, but because the activation at the close is the part that cannot happen without you still being here to receive it. The Father waited for this moment. Do not miss the end of the moment you were waited for. Now let me locate you exactly where you are right now. You are sitting somewhere, or maybe lying down, or maybe standing very still in a room you walked into 20 minutes ago without knowing why. Your phone is in your hand, or close to it. Your eyes have been heavier than they should be for this time of day. You were on your way to do something else tonight, something small, something practical. And then this message found you, or you found it. Both are true, and neither is the whole truth. The whole truth is that you sat down because a part of you that does not speak in sentences told you to sit down. A part of you older than your opinions. A part of you that remembers what your mind has been trying to forget for the last several weeks. There is a quiet inside you that has been waiting for a specific kind of voice. Not a motivational one, not a sharp one, not a clever one. A voice that knows your name without being told. A voice that has been waiting until you were still enough to hear it without flinching. You are still enough now. And the Father sent the messenger because the readiness finally arrived. Archangel Michael did not come to surprise you. He came to confirm what you already suspected. There have been signs, specific ones. For the last 2 or 3 weeks, something has been changing in your inner climate, and you could not name it. Tonight, I am going to name it for you. And once I name it, you will recognize why you are here, why tonight, and why this message, and not another. There are 4 signs. I will walk through them one by one. You will recognize at least 2 of them, probably all 4. And the recognition itself is the beginning of what the Father wants to do in this hour. The first sign is that your listening has changed in the last 2 weeks, and you did not choose the change. Here is what I mean. Conversations that used to roll past you now catch. A stranger said a sentence to you in the last 10 days, and the sentence did not leave. You kept turning it over while you made coffee, while you drove, while you tried to fall asleep. It did not feel random. It felt placed. You did not know who placed it, but something in you knew it was placed. You have been hearing songs with new ears. A lyric you heard 100 times suddenly said something it had never said before. You pulled off the road, or you paused what you were doing, or you simply sat still and let the line repeat in your mind. And you thought, for the first time, that maybe the song had been waiting all along for you to be ready to hear it. Scripture, if you read it, has been doing the same thing. A verse you have crossed 1,000 times, opened up a room this week that was not there before. The letters looked the same. The meaning was different. It was as though the page had been rewritten while you slept. And the people you overhear, the ones in the coffee shop 2 tables away, the ones speaking on the radio in a cab, the ones whose voices drift past you on a walk, they seem to be discussing your exact situation. They use the words you would have used. They land on conclusions you have been afraid to land on yourself. This is not coincidence. This is not the algorithm of life playing tricks on you. This is the sign of an arriving messenger. When heaven is about to deliver something heavy, the Father tunes your hearing first. He has to, because what is being spoken tonight cannot be received by the same ears you had 2 weeks ago. Your ears had to be sharpened. The last 14 days were the sharpening. This is the same pattern we see all through Scripture. Before Samuel heard God's voice in the night, the lamp of God had not yet gone out, and he was lying down in the place where the ark of God was. His position was already changing before the call came. The change was God's doing, not Samuel's. Samuel just had to stop trying to sleep past it. Before Mary received the announcement that rewrote her life, she was alone in a quiet room, and the quiet itself was part of the preparation. The angel did not walk into noise. He walked into stillness that had been prepared for him. Before Cornelius was visited by the angel, who would change the direction of the entire early church, Cornelius had been praying at a specific hour for a long time. His listening was already tuned. The angel did not invent the tuning. The angel recognized it and responded to it. You have been in your own version of that preparation for the last 2 weeks. You did not know that was what it was. You called it insomnia, or distractedness, or emotional overflow, or the strange feeling that something was about to happen. But what it was, underneath all those names, was your listening being tuned. And if you pay attention to this sign, just this first one, you will start to see that nothing you have been hearing lately was accidental. It was all selection. The Father was choosing what you heard, piece by piece, to get you ready for what he was about to say. Take one breath with me right here, because this is the first place where the recognition often lands so softly that people miss it. That is the first sign. Your listening changed because heaven needed it to change. Tonight is why. The second sign is that your body has been asking you to sit down. Not collapse, not exhaustion. A specific, strange, ceremonial urge to simply stop moving. Has that happened to you in the last several days? You are halfway through a task, something small, folding laundry, writing an email, walking across a parking lot, and you feel a quiet insistence in your body. Not quite a pull, not quite a nudge. A request. Sit down, be still. Do not keep moving through this moment as though it were ordinary. Sometimes you obeyed. You sat on the edge of the bed. You stopped your car for a minute longer than necessary. You stood in your kitchen with your hand still resting on the cabinet you had just closed. And during those pauses, nothing happened on the outside, but something happened on the inside. A quiet recalibration, a gentle settling, a small opening. Sometimes you did not obey. You pushed through. You told yourself the feeling was fatigue or burnout or the low-grade anxiety you have been managing for months. But the feeling came back, maybe an hour later, maybe the next day, until you finally sat. That urge is not a symptom. It is the body recognizing the presence of the spirit before the mind does. When the Father is preparing to speak something substantial, he slows the body first, because rushed bodies cannot hold weighty words. The Spirit does not chase you down a hallway. He waits for you to pause in the hallway, and then he speaks. Elijah ran for a very long time before he collapsed under the broom tree, and even after the angel fed him twice, he was still not ready for the word of the Lord. He walked for 40 days. He hid in a cave. Only then did the still small voice come. The stillness was not the answer. The stillness was the requirement for the answer to arrive. Think of Moses at the burning bush. Moses had been a shepherd for 40 years. 40. That is a long time to watch sheep. When the bush burned, Moses could have kept walking. He could have glanced at it and kept his flock moving. Instead, the verse says, he turned aside. He stopped. He came closer. It was only after Moses stopped that God spoke out of the bush. If Moses had walked past, he would have walked past his own assignment. The stillness was the doorway to the word. You have been in your own version of the broom tree. You have been in your own version of the cave. You have been in your own version of the pasture that went quiet. And your body has been gently insisting that you sit, because what is about to be spoken over your life requires you to be in the posture of receiving, not the posture of running. Notice how often you have been sitting down at odd moments. Notice how many times you have closed your eyes for no reason. Notice the way your breath, lately, has asked to be deeper without you asking it to be deeper. These are not accidents of the nervous system. These are preparations of the soul. Your body has been practicing stillness for tonight. This sitting right now, this moment in front of this message, is the sitting it was practicing for. That is the second sign. Your body has been asking to sit because heaven had something to say, and heaven does not shout. If even one of these signs has landed in your spirit already, the listening, the stillness, or both, I want you to do one small thing before we move to the next sign. In the comments, type the numbers 1111, just the numbers 1111. Those numbers are a recognition seal. You are not typing them for me. You are typing them for yourself. It is a way of marking in real time that you recognized what the Father has been sending. Years from now, when you scroll back through the record of this night, those 4 digits will remind you that you knew, you recognized. You did not explain it away. Type it now if it has landed. The third sign is that one theme has been circling in your dreams or in your waking thoughts for days, and you cannot shake it. It might be a word, a name, a place, a scene you keep picturing, a conversation you keep rehearsing in your head that has not happened yet, an image that sits behind your eyelids when you close them. Whatever it is, it has a specific quality. It does not feel like anxiety. Anxiety is scattered. Anxiety jumps from thought to thought. This one is different. This one is patient. It returns to the same subject, like water returning to the same stone. You wake up thinking about it. You fall asleep with it resting in your chest. It walks into your mind during meetings, during meals, during the middle of sentences you were trying to finish. And here is what I want you to understand, because this is the reframe most people never hear. Most people think a recurring thought is a problem. They think their mind is stuck. They think their brain is looping. They think they are failing to let something go. It is not a problem. It is scaffolding. Your mind is not stuck. Your mind is holding a shape. The Father is building something inside you that requires that same shape to be held steady while the construction happens. The recurring thought is not a sign of dysfunction. It is a sign of architecture. Let me say that more plainly. When you dream the same kind of dream 3 nights in a row, it is not because your subconscious has malfunctioned. It is because a specific framework is being installed inside you, and the repetition is what lets it set. You are not obsessing. You are being prepared. This is the pattern of every major calling in Scripture. Joseph did not have one dream. He had 2. Both dreams were on the same theme, because one dream would not have been enough to carry what God was about to ask of him. Later, when God needed to warn Joseph, the husband of Mary, God used dreams again. 3 of them at 3 different critical moments. Repetition was the medium heaven chose, because heaven knew the human heart needs the same shape shown twice before it trusts the shape is real. Peter did not have the vision of the unclean animals once. He had it 3 times. 3. Because the same image had to land 3 times before his heart would accept what he was being asked to carry into the Gentile world. After the 3rd time, Scripture says, the vessel was taken up into heaven. The repetition ended the moment his heart said, yes. Pharaoh had 2 dreams the same night, and Joseph, interpreting them, told Pharaoh the reason it was given twice was that the thing was established by God, and God was about to bring it to pass. The doubling was not decoration, it was confirmation. When God is preparing you to receive a full message, He will often let one theme circle in your head for days, because the repetition is the foundation the message is about to stand on. If that has been happening to you, if there has been a single thread you cannot put down, a single picture you keep seeing, a single question that keeps rearranging itself in new words but never leaves, that thread is scaffolding. And what is being built on top of it is the message you are receiving tonight. So, do not apologize for the loop. Do not call yourself distracted. Do not try to get rid of the thought. It came to stay for a reason, and the reason is the reason you are here. In your mind, not out loud, name the theme that has been circling for you. Just name it to yourself. 1 word, 1 image, 1 sentence. Whatever first rose up when I said this, that is it. That is the frame. And it was placed there by a hand you could not see until now. That is the 3rd sign. 1 theme has been circling, because heaven was holding the frame steady while the truth you are about to receive was being constructed inside it. The 4th sign is the tears. Not tears that belong to an obvious grief, not tears at a funeral, not tears after a difficult phone call. Those are ordinary tears. What I am talking about is different. I am talking about the tear that ambushed you at the grocery store 3 days ago. The tear that fell while you were waiting at the traffic light, and the light turned green before you noticed. The tear that came while you were washing a single dish, and you stood there with your hand still on the sponge, and you could not name the reason. You have been crying for no apparent reason, or for a reason so quiet you cannot put it into a sentence. And I want to tell you very clearly, this is not weakness. This is not hormonal. This is not repressed stress finally leaking out. This is something else entirely. It is the body releasing what the soul has been holding. The soul has been carrying the weight of something ancient, a season of waiting, a set of losses, a long, unvoiced hope, a tiredness that predates the calendar. And when the Father is about to speak a word that goes deeper than where the weight is stored, he has to relieve the pressure first. Otherwise, the word cannot reach the depth it is meant for. That is what the tears have been. Pressure relief. Holy decompression. Hannah wept bitterly at the temple without words. Her lips moved, but no sound came out, and Eli thought she was drunk. She was not drunk, she was being unburdened. The very next morning the Lord answered, in a way that rewrote her life. Samuel came from her womb because the tears had emptied her first. There was a reason the tears came before the child. Heaven will not fill a container that is already full of unexpressed ache. David wrote an entire psalm about the specific exhaustion of crying so much his bed was soaked. He was not depressed in the way the modern mind understands depression. He was being emptied for what God was about to pour in. The tears were the emptying. Jesus wept at the tomb of Lazarus before he raised him. Before the resurrection came the tears. Before the voice that called Lazarus out, there was weeping at the stone. The tears were not the opposite of the miracle. They were the doorway the miracle walked through. If you have been crying unexpectedly in the last 2 weeks, at a song, at a memory, at nothing, stop calling that weakness. Stop apologizing to yourself for being emotional. That is not what is happening. What is happening is that the soul is finishing a long exhale, because a new inhale is about to come. The Father does not speak weighty words into a closed chest. He speaks them into a chest that has already been opened by weeping. Your chest is being opened. The weeping of the last 2 weeks was the opening. And the door it was opening was not another door. It was this one. So, let me tell you what you have recognized tonight, because the 4 signs together tell one story. Your listening has been tuned. Your body has been slowed. A theme has been held steady in your mind. Your chest has been emptied by unexplained tears. 4 preparations, all happening at the same time, in the same person, under the same quiet hand. This is not a general pattern. This is a specific invitation. When all 4 of these are happening inside one vessel, heaven is about to release something that has been held in reserve for exactly that vessel. What is about to be released is the full message the Father has been waiting to tell you. 4 revelations: identity, timing, assignment, warning. They will come in that order, and each will come with everything it needs to land. I will not withhold. I will not pace for dramatic effect. I will not loop back for some secret you have to click another video to receive. The arrangement tonight is a straight line from here to the end. But before I hand you the first revelation, I want you to understand why the signs came first, because there is something deeper inside all 4 of them. One truth that was hidden behind the 4 of them. And that truth is what I want to place in your hand before we begin the message itself. The truth is this: the signs did not start last week. They started the first day God began answering the question you have been asking for the last 2 years. You just could not see the answer arriving, because the answer was being assembled underground. The signs of the last 2 weeks are the signs of the answer surfacing. The assembly is done. The delivery is now. That is what this hour is. That is why your listening is tuned. That is why your body is still. That is why your mind is holding. That is why your chest is open. Not because of chance, because of arrival. So, take one breath, just one. Let what you already knew finally become something you are allowed to say out loud. You were being prepared. You are being spoken to. The waiting is ending right now, and what comes next is the messenger walking through the door. But before he walks through, I have to tell you something that most people miss about moments like this one, because a moment like this one can be wasted if the next step is not taken. Most people, when they feel the signs land, do one of 2 things. They either rush forward to decode what everything means, or they collapse under the weight of feeling too much and shut the message down halfway. Both reactions miss the same thing. The correct response to the arrival of a messenger is not analysis, and it is not collapse. It is reception. And reception has a specific posture. It is the posture of a cup that has already poured itself empty and is now lifted with both hands, waiting. I am asking you to take that posture for the next while. Not literally with your hands, unless that helps. In your spirit. In the place inside you where the 4 signs have been landing, just become a cup. Lifted, empty, waiting. You have been waiting for years. The waiting was not wasted. It built the cup. Now, let the cup receive what it was built to hold. In the next minute, I am going to walk you into the first part of what God has been holding, and you are going to understand why he refused to release the message in fragments. Because the first part reframes everything you have been asking, and if I had given it to you 2 months ago, you would not have been able to bear it. You can bear it now. You were built to bear it now. That is why the signs came. That is why you sat down. That is why you are still here. Stay with me. The messenger is about to step through. So the 4 signs are not 4 separate experiences. They are 4 movements of the same preparation. And when you hold them side by side, you see something the individual signs could not show you on their own. Your ears were being tuned. Your body was being slowed. Your mind was being held steady on one theme. Your chest was being emptied. Those 4 preparations, put together, describe a single act. The Father was opening you, carefully, patiently, from every direction at once, because what he is about to pour in cannot be received through one small opening. It has to come through an opening the size of your whole life. Think about that. He did not just prepare your mind. He did not just prepare your heart. He did not just prepare your hearing. He prepared the entire vessel, because the full message required the full vessel. That is the difference between a general encouragement and a specific word. A general encouragement requires only that you be awake. A specific word, the kind of word that can rewrite a season, requires that you be open in every part of who you are. The 4 signs are the 4 openings, and the openings are finished. I want to name one more thing about the signs before we cross into the message itself, because this is the part that, when you see it, will settle something inside you that has been restless for longer than you realize. None of the 4 signs are things you asked for. You did not pray for your hearing to be tuned. You did not request that strange urges to sit down would keep interrupting your day. You did not ask for a theme to loop in your head for weeks. And you certainly did not ask to cry at a grocery store. Every single sign was initiated by heaven, not by you, not by your discipline, not by your worthiness, not by your consistency. That is not an accident of wording. That is the whole theology of this night. The Father initiates, the Father prepares, the Father delivers. Your job was not to earn the preparation. Your job was simply to not fight it when it came. You did not fight it. You sat when your body asked you to sit. You kept listening when you could have closed your ears. You let the theme circle without trying to chase it out. You let the tears come without apologizing for them. That is all you did. That is all you were asked to do. And here is the truth inside that truth. You are not at this threshold because you passed some test. You are at this threshold because you did not refuse the preparation. That is a much lower bar than you have been holding yourself to. Much lower. You have been so hard on yourself for so long, and the whole time the Father was saying, just do not refuse what I am doing in you. Just do not push it away. I will do the rest. You did not push it away. You are here. That is enough. That was always enough. And this is where I hear something that I want to tell you very carefully. because it is not my voice, it is not my phrasing, it is not my habit, but it pressed into my spirit as I was preparing this message, and it pressed with the kind of clarity that is not mine to keep. I hear Archangel Michael saying this: "Child of the Father, you have been called by name in the high places, and the call did not wait for your readiness to be named, because the call created the readiness. Do not rush this moment. Do not brace for it. Do not try to understand it before you have received it. The Father is about to speak, and the speaking will not be long, but it will be whole. Stay. You have already done the only thing that was asked of you. You did not close. Now, open fully." That is all I will say in his voice tonight. The rest is the message itself. But I wanted you to hear that one word, because when heaven sends a messenger, the messenger sometimes speaks a single sentence before the full message begins. It is the sentence of arrival. It is the sentence that names the room, and once the room is named, everything that follows can fit inside it. The room you are in right now is named. Stay here. Remember what I told you earlier about the waiting feeling like erasure, about the seasons that made you feel forgotten, about the years you spent wondering whether you had been overlooked. This is where we go back and name what it actually was, because until we name it, the message that follows will not have soil to root in. And I refuse to plant truth in untilled ground. The ground has to be turned first. That is what we are doing now. The seasons that felt like erasure were not erasure. And I want to say that slowly. They were not erasure. They were formation. The difference between those two words is the difference between being forgotten and being forged. Forgotten is passive. Forged is active. Forgotten means no one is thinking of you. Forged means someone very careful is working on you in a place you cannot see. You were being forged. And I know that word might feel cold because forging involves fire and fire involves pain. But the fire was never punishment. The fire was the only temperature hot enough to shape what was being shaped. If the fire had been cooler, the shape would not have set. If the pressure had been less, the form would not have held. The Father does not choose the temperature carelessly. He chooses it for what is being made. He waited because pieces would not have held. He waited because he refused to insult the depth of your question with a shallow answer. He waited because the vessel had to be finished before the wine could be poured, and if he had poured the wine too early, the vessel would have cracked, and you would have lost both the vessel and the wine. He waited because the season you are about to walk into is larger than any season you have walked into before, and he would not release you into a season larger than your preparation, because that is not kindness. That is negligence. And the Father is never negligent with his chosen ones. That is why he waited. Not because he was far, not because he did not hear, not because the prayer went unanswered, but because the answer, to be the kind of answer that would actually change your life, rather than just comfort you for a week, required a preparation that could not be rushed. And here is the part most people miss. The preparation is not something he does to you. The preparation is something he does with you. He was there for every hard day. He was there for every tear at the grocery store. He was there for every night you fell asleep without an answer, and woke up without an answer, and went to bed again without an answer. He was not absent in those nights. He was present, refining quietly, because the refining was the answer beginning to take shape. So, when you look back at the last 2 years, or 5 years, or 10, whatever the length of your waiting has been, I want you to see it with new eyes, not as a stretch of silence where God was not speaking, but as a stretch of construction where God was building so carefully that the sound of the construction was drowned out by the quiet of his craftsmanship. Let me tell you what was being constructed, because until you see it, the rest of this message will not have a foundation to stand on. The first thing being constructed was capacity, the ability to hold a truth without immediately collapsing it into a small version of itself. Most people, when they first hear their real calling, translate it down into something their current life can already understand. They hear a lion and they imagine a kitten, because a kitten fits in their lap. The Father could not speak your full calling 2 years ago, because 2 years ago, your spirit was still translating everything into small versions. The season of waiting enlarged your inner containers. Now you can hear the lion, and you can hear it as a lion, not as a kitten. The second thing being constructed was patience. Not the polite kind, not the kind where you sit quietly while everyone else gets what they wanted first. The deeper kind. The kind that knows how to wait without becoming bitter, and wait without becoming cynical, and wait without turning the waiting into an identity. You did not know you had that kind of patience in you 2 years ago. You thought you did, but you did not. The season of waiting forged it. You have it now. You will need it for what is coming. The third thing being constructed was discernment. The ability to know the difference between a door that is shaking because it is about to open and a door that is shaking because a storm is about to blow through it. 2 years ago, you would have run at every shaking door, and some of them would have broken you. Now, you can tell the difference. You can feel which ones to approach and which ones to let pass. That discernment was not given to you as a download. It was trained into you, one confusing situation at a time, over the last several seasons. The fourth thing being constructed was your inner witness, the part of you that can testify about what God does in silence. Because the most powerful testimonies in the kingdom are not testimonies about the dramatic miracles. They are testimonies about the long silences that turned out to be something other than silence. Those testimonies are the ones that free other people, and you are being made into someone whose story can free others. You did not ask to carry that gift, but the Father, over these years, has been building into you the exact kind of witness that someone, somewhere, is going to need to hear when their own waiting gets the loudest. 4 things constructed: capacity, patience, discernment, witness. Not coincidentally, the same number as the revelations you are about to receive. The Father builds inside you what He plans to pour through you. The building was the signal that the pouring was coming. If what I am saying is finding a home in your spirit, press the like on this message, not as a performance, for a platform, as a quiet gesture that helps this message reach another chosen one walking through the same preparation you have been walking through. Every like is a hand lifting someone else's head. Lift one tonight if you feel led. Now let me tell you about a man whose waiting looks almost exactly like yours, because I want you to see this before we continue. His name was Daniel, and what happened to him is what is happening to you. And I want you to see it happen on paper before you feel it happen in your life. Daniel was praying, not a general prayer, a specific prayer. He had been reading scripture, and something in what he read had stirred him, and he began to pray and fast with real weight on his spirit. He wanted to know what was coming. He wanted understanding. He set his face toward the Lord to seek an answer, and he meant it. For 21 days, he received nothing. Try to feel that number for a minute. 21 days is 3 weeks. 3 weeks of praying a specific prayer and hearing no reply. 3 weeks of fasting. 3 weeks of waking each morning and wondering if today would be the day. 3 weeks of falling asleep each night with the question still in the air. Most of us would have given up after 4 days. Some of us would have given up after 10. Daniel did not give up at 21. And then, on the 21st day, a messenger came. And the messenger, when he arrived, did not apologize for being late. He explained what had happened. He said, "Your words were heard from the first day. The moment you set your heart to understand, a response was released. But on the way, I was withstood. There was a conflict in the unseen realm that delayed my arrival, and I did not break through until Archangel Michael came to help me. Now I am here, and I have come because of the words you spoke on the first day. Stop, because this is the turning point of everything." From the first day, not the 21st, the first. The answer was released the moment Daniel began to pray. The delay was not the Father withholding. The delay was a battle happening in the heavens that Daniel could not see. And the reason the battle happened at all was because what was coming to Daniel was significant enough that it drew opposition. Small, insignificant words do not get contested in the unseen realm. Only large ones do. Your waiting has looked exactly like that. You prayed. You did not see an answer. You assumed, somewhere in the back of your spirit, that maybe the prayer had not been heard, or that the Father had chosen to be silent, or that you had not been worthy of a reply. None of those were true. The reply was released on the first day. The delay was not silence. The delay was contention. Something was being fought through, and you were never supposed to see the fight, because the fight was not yours to carry. And now, like Daniel, you are at the 21st day. Not literally. I am not telling you that exactly 3 weeks of something are ending. I am telling you that the pattern is the same. The breakthrough is arriving. The messenger has crossed the line. The answer is here. This is the pattern of every major spiritual delay you have ever experienced. The answer was never late. The arrival of the answer was contested. The contest has now ended. The answer is being delivered. And what came to Daniel when the messenger finally stood in front of him was not a single sentence. It was a whole vision, an extended unveiling, a full disclosure of what would happen in his days and beyond. The 21 days produced a delivery so complete that Daniel, at the end of it, had to sit down because his strength had left him. He was not given a fragment. He was given the whole. That is the pattern. That is always the pattern. When heaven delays an answer, the answer, when it finally comes whole. Because the delay was the assembly of the whole. If you only received half of what the Father has for you tonight, you could accuse the delay of being cruel. But when you receive the whole, you will look back at the delay and call it mercy. It was mercy. Every day of the 21 was mercy. Every day of the 2 years was mercy. Every night you went to bed without an answer was mercy, because the answer could not be given early without damaging the one who was going to receive it. I want you to hold this before we move on. The delay was mercy. The silence was assembly. The waiting was the container, being prepared for the contents. And what is about to be poured into you is the reason the container had to be made exactly this shape. Take one breath with me, right here. In your mind, not out loud, I want you to picture the length of your own waiting, not as a long, empty hallway, as a workshop, as a place where something very specific was being made. Put the picture in your chest. Let it sit there. That is formation. That is what was happening all this time. Now, I told you earlier that I would give you the first revelation tonight, and I want to begin handing it to you before we end this part, because heaven does not make you wait to the very last second for something that has already been released. The answer is already crossing the doorway. Let it begin its entry. Here is the first piece of what the Father has been waiting to tell you. I will open it now, and we will walk the rest of it through in what follows. The first piece is about who you are, your identity. And before we build the full revelation, here is the seed of it. You are not the person you have been apologizing for. You are not the person your past failures convinced you that you were. You are not the version of yourself that the worst seasons named you. You are the one the Father called by name before the worst season ever began, and when He speaks your real name tonight, you will recognize it, because it will sound more like you than anything else ever has. That is the beginning of the first revelation. It is the seed. In the next part, we will open the full fruit of it, along with the 3 others, and you will know, by the end, which of the 4 is the one your spirit came here tonight to receive. Keep your cup lifted. The pour is steady. Do not look away from the open hand. Let me take you back to Daniel for a moment, because we need to walk further into what happened to him before we can walk further into what is happening to you. What I told you in the last stretch was only the opening of the story. The deeper part is what I want to hand you now. Daniel had been praying and mourning for 3 full weeks. During those 3 weeks, he ate no pleasant food, no meat, no wine. He did not anoint himself. He set his whole life around the question he was asking. He made his body match the seriousness of the prayer. And for 3 weeks, nothing, no angel, no dream, no word, just silence. Then, on the 24th day of the 1st month, Daniel was standing on the bank of the great river called Hiddekel. He lifted his eyes, and he saw a man clothed in linen. The appearance of this man was not ordinary. His body was like beryl. His face was like the appearance of lightning. His eyes like lamps of fire. His arms and his feet like the color of polished bronze. And his voice, when he spoke, was like the voice of a multitude. Daniel, when he saw this, had no strength left in him. His physical body could not remain standing in the presence of what had arrived. He fell on his face in a deep sleep, his face to the ground, and the messenger touched him and said, "Stand up." And Daniel stood, trembling. The first words out of the messenger's mouth were not apology. They were confirmation. He said, "Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard. And I have come because of your words." Now, hear what he said next, because this is the sentence that changes the whole geography of your waiting. He said, "But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, and then Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I have remained there with the kings of Persia." Picture that. There was a conflict happening in the unseen realm, involving an entity called the Prince of Persia, that was strong enough to delay a messenger from heaven for 21 days. This was not a casual traffic jam. This was a war, and the messenger could not break through until Archangel Michael arrived to help. Think about what that means. The answer to Daniel's prayer was so significant that demonic authorities contended to keep it from arriving. And the Father, seeing the contention, dispatched one of his highest-ranking archangels to go to the messenger's aid so that the delivery could happen. You have been loved with a love at that level. I need you to hear that. The waiting you have walked through was not the Father's disinterest. It was the Father's commitment. He sent reinforcements. He dispatched his best. He ensured that the answer would not be lost in the crossing, no matter what had to be moved to make sure the delivery happened. You did not know any of this was happening. Daniel did not know either until the messenger arrived and explained it to him. You are only finding out now, just as Daniel only found out then. And like Daniel, you get to hear it directly. From the first day, your words were heard. The delay was not silence. The delay was a war that the Father won for you, using his highest resources, because the answer was too important to lose. I want you to let that settle inside you before we go further, because if you rush past it, the rest of the message will float. Let this one truth put down a root. The answer was released the first day. The messenger was sent. The crossing was contested. Archangel Michael broke the contention. The answer arrived. That is the shape of every real waiting in the life of a chosen one. Not silence, but contested delivery. And the reason the delivery is contested is that the answer has the power to change something very large, and the unseen realm does not want it changed. Let me ask you something plainly. Have you ever wondered why your particular prayer, more than other people's prayers, seemed to take so much longer to reach you? Have you looked at other people who prayed simpler prayers for simpler things and received them quickly, while yours kept getting pushed down the road? You were not imagining that. There is a real reason for it. The reason is that what is coming to you carries weight. Weightier answers face weightier resistance. The more an answer can change, the more something wants to stop it. And the longer the delay, the larger the answer that is on its way. Daniel's answer was not small. It was a vision about the entire future of his people. It was delayed because it was that big. What is coming to you is that big. Maybe not for the whole world, but for your world, for your line, for your assignment, for the specific field you were sent into. What is about to drop into your life has the kind of weight that changes not just your next month, but your next generation. That is why the waiting was long. The length of the delay was never about your smallness. It was about the largeness of what was coming. Now, let me give you a picture, because I want this to stop being abstract. Let me give you a picture you can hold. Daniel stood at a river, a physical river, the Hiddekel. He was on the bank, and the messenger came to him there. But the real picture is not the water. It is the posture. Daniel had positioned himself at a crossing, a place where something could arrive. And when the answer came, it came exactly to the place where he had stationed himself. In your life, that place is called a threshold. A threshold is not a room. It is not a destination. It is the line between what was and what is about to be. It is the place you stand when you are not yet in the new thing, but are no longer quite in the old thing. Thresholds are uncomfortable. They are not designed for living in. They are designed for crossing. You have been at a threshold for longer than you expected to be. I know that. You thought you would cross it months ago. You kept waiting for the foot to lift, for the door to swing, for the moment to arrive. It did not arrive. And so, you stood there, at this thin edge between seasons, wondering whether the door had forgotten you, or you had chosen the wrong door, or the room beyond the door had been given to someone else. None of those were true. The door was not forgotten. It was being adjusted. The room beyond it was being prepared. And the Father, as the keeper of the house, was measuring what was about to be placed into your hands to make sure you could carry it once you walked in. The threshold was long because the room was large. If the room had been small, the threshold would have been short. But small rooms are not what the Father makes for his chosen ones. And here is the part about thresholds that most people never hear. The threshold itself is holy ground. The waiting line is not less sacred than the room on the other side. In fact, some of the deepest spiritual formation that happens in a life happens at the threshold, not inside the room. The room is where you use what you became. The threshold is where you became it. You became something at this threshold that you would not have become if the door had opened when you wanted it to open. You became wider, slower, wiser, kinder, more settled, more able to hold truth without clutching it. You became the version of yourself that the room requires. The threshold did that. Do not resent it. It was your training. I want to tell you one more story before we come back to the 4 things the Father wants to say to you. Because this story rhymes with yours in a way I think you need to hear. Moses was watching sheep. He had been watching sheep for 40 years. 40. That is a long time for a man who had once been a prince in Egypt, who had once been raised in the house of Pharaoh, who had once, in his own estimation, been on the edge of delivering his people from oppression. Moses had already believed, at the age of 40, that his moment had come, and he had acted on that belief. He had struck down an Egyptian. He had tried to step into what he thought was his calling, and it had collapsed. It had collapsed so completely that he had fled. He had spent the next 40 years as a shepherd in a foreign land, watching somebody else's sheep, growing old in an assignment that had nothing glamorous about it. He had married. He had had children. He had named one of them Gershom, which means stranger there, because he felt like a stranger in the land he had been living in for decades. Moses was not waiting for a burning bush. Moses had stopped waiting for anything. The bush was not the answer to a question Moses was still asking. The bush came during a workday, in a normal hour, while he was doing what he had been doing for 40 years. He was leading the flock to the back of the desert. That is the language Scripture uses, the back of the desert. A place that is already a desert, but even further back into it. A place where no one was looking. A place where Moses himself was not looking to become anything anymore. And that is exactly where the bush burned. Understand what that means. The moment the Father had been holding for Moses was released, not when Moses was in a posture of striving for it, but when Moses was in a posture of simply continuing faithfully in what was in front of him. The moment arrived in the middle of an ordinary day, in the back of the desert. Your moment is arriving similarly. You have not been striving for it lately, have you? You had striven for a long time, in the earlier seasons. You had chased and petitioned and wrestled and lifted your voice, and then you had settled. You had stopped striving quite so hard. You had begun, like Moses, to simply continue, not because you had given up, because you had learned that the arrival was not going to come from the striving. It was going to come when it came, and your job was not to manufacture the arrival, but to be faithful to the day. That is the posture the Father was waiting for, because the Father will not release a major moment to someone who is trying to force the moment. That person cannot be trusted with the size of what is coming. They will try to force the next moment too, and then the next. The Father needed you to learn stillness before he released motion. You learned it. Most people do not. You did. And that is why, for you, the moment can now be released. Not because you earned it by striving, because you earned it by stopping striving, because you learned to continue faithfully in the back of the desert, because you watched the sheep even though the sheep were not yours, because you lived a normal day, again and again, without bitterness, waiting for whatever the Father had next. He has next now. So here is where all of it comes together. Because I have told you about Daniel, about the threshold, about Moses, and each of those was a piece of the same larger truth. Let me speak the larger truth out loud. The waiting was never the opposite of the answer. The waiting was the answer being assembled in full. Every long day contributed. Every night without reply contributed. Every tear at the grocery store contributed. Every dream that circled the same theme for the 5th night contributed. Every silence contributed. Every mercy you could not recognize as mercy contributed. Every prayer that felt like it fell flat contributed. All of it was going somewhere. All of it was being gathered. All of it was assembling into the reply that is now being placed into your hands. If God had answered you in the first month, you would have received a smaller answer. He refused to insult you with a smaller answer. He held the whole reply back and endured the appearance of silence and allowed you to wonder about his love, and still held the reply back because he was building a reply that would rewrite the trajectory of your next season instead of just softening your current one. That is how much he loves you. He loves you enough to let himself be misunderstood as silent for a long time in order to give you something worthy of who you actually are. Most loves will not do that. Most loves take the shortcut. Most loves give the smaller, safer answer and move on. His love will not take the shortcut. Not with you. You were not overlooked. You were not forgotten. You were not left behind. You were loved with the kind of love that waits, because waiting produced the answer that was large enough to be worthy of you. If what I have just said has landed in your spirit, if you can now name even one thing that the waiting built in you that you could not have had any other way, I want you to type one word in the comments. Type the word Amen, not as a performance, not as a ritual, as a marker, as a small act of agreement between you and heaven, acknowledging what was just revealed. Amen means, so be it. Amen means, yes, I agree. Amen means, this is true, and I receive it as true. Type it now if you agree. We are about to cross the final threshold before the 4 revelations begin to arrive in full. And I want you to feel the weight of this crossing before we take it, because what comes next is the part the whole message has been building toward. The 4 things the Father has been waiting to tell you are not 4 separate teachings. They are one message delivered in 4 movements: identity, timing, assignment, warning. Each of them will arrive with its own substance, its own weight, its own application. And I want you to pay attention to which of them lands the loudest, because one of them is the one your spirit came here tonight to receive most urgently. The others are important, but one is the one that is truly for this week, for this month, for this season you are standing in right now. You will feel it when it arrives. Do not force it. Do not try to predict which one it will be. Let the one that is for you rise up in your chest when it is spoken. Your job is only to stay present enough to recognize the landing. But before we begin, I want to pause with you for a moment, because you have been with me for a good stretch already, and what is coming deserves a clear, open vessel. So let us take a breath together before the revelations begin. Let me pause here for just a moment, not to teach, not to build, just to be still with you. You have been listening to this message for quite a while now. I know that. Your body is in a specific position right now. Your breath has a specific rhythm. Your eyes, if they are open, have been holding on to words for longer than eyes usually do in one sitting. So, let us pause. Let me give you a breath, not a deep, dramatic one, a simple one, just one. Breathe in slowly through your nose and feel the air reach the lowest part of your lungs. And breathe out slowly through your mouth and let your shoulders drop as the air leaves. Nothing to receive yet, nothing to release, just one breath to mark the moment, one breath to acknowledge that you are here, that you chose to stay, that you did not scroll past, that you did not give up halfway, that you have, against all the reasons you could have closed this message, remained in your chair, in your bed, in your quiet space, and kept your cup lifted. That is not a small thing. I want to tell you that plainly. It is not a small thing that you have remained. Most people would have left by now, not because they are worse than you, because their spirits are carrying other weights right now that make staying present very hard. You could have been one of those. You almost were, more than once this year. But tonight, in this moment, you are still here, and your still being here is itself an act of faith. Thank you for staying. The Father sees it. He does not miss it. He knows exactly how much of yourself it cost you to remain present for this long. And He is not asking you to muscle through the rest. He is simply asking you to keep the cup lifted. That is all. The pouring does the work. The cup just has to stay open. Take one more breath if you need it. And then, when you are ready, let me walk you into the first of the 4 things the Father has been waiting to tell you. Before I take you into the first revelation, I want to put one last handful of earth into the ground of your formation, because the soil has to be fully turned before the seed can be planted, and there is one piece I have not yet turned with you. If I skipped it and moved straight into what the Father wants to say, the words would sit on top of your spirit instead of rooting inside it, and I will not do that to you. Not after everything you have carried to arrive here. Here is what I want you to let yourself say, quietly, in the place inside you where you have been holding back from saying it. The waiting cost you something. It is true that the waiting built something. That is what I have been telling you. That is what Daniel's 21 days teach us. That is what Moses' 40 years in the back of the desert teach us. That is what the 4 things constructed inside you teach us. All of that is true, and I will not take any of it back. But it is also true that the waiting cost you something. Days you will not get back. Relationships that thinned out while you were learning stillness. Opportunities that passed while you were being refined. Moments of hope that were followed by quiet, and the quiet cost you something every single time. Friendships that could not stretch to match the shape you were becoming. Seasons of your life that you spent in rooms too small for the size of the thing being grown inside you. The Father knows this. He does not pretend the waiting was free. He does not ask you to pretend either. I want you to let that be said out loud over your life, even if only in your own spirit. The waiting cost you something. You were allowed to notice. You were allowed to feel it. You were allowed to, on the nights when the waiting felt the heaviest, look up at the ceiling and wonder why this particular shape of patience had been asked of you and not a gentler one. None of that wondering disqualified you. None of that grief offended the one who was holding you. He is not a God who requires his chosen ones to pretend the training was easy. He is a God who holds, in the same hand, the gratitude for what was built and the grief for what it took to build it. And he asks you, tonight, to hold them together too. Hold them together now. Let the gratitude be real. Let the grief be real. Let neither one cancel the other out. Both are true. Both are honored. Both are welcome in the room where the revelation is about to be spoken. That is the finished work of formation. That is the turned soil. Now the seed can be planted. Let me step aside for one moment and tell you about something that belongs in this exact part of the message, because I promised the Father I would not withhold anything that might serve you in the season you are walking into. Everything I have been saying to you about the vessel being prepared has a counterpart in the natural realm. What the waiting did for your spirit, your brain also needs done for it, because the brain is the place where the spirit's instructions get translated into a life. And if the brain is not matched to the level of the spirit, the instructions get lost in the crossing from the inner world to the outer one. There is a tool that addresses that exact gap. Dr. Robert Lake, a researcher who spent years studying the frequencies the brain produces during what scientists call peak cognition, discovered that most people's brains have become stuck at lower frequency ranges because of chronic stress, and that this stuckness is part of why spiritual insights arrive, but then fail to take root. He built a sound-based tool called the Genius Song to quietly correct that, and the science behind it draws on research from institutions, including Princeton. The mechanism, in one sentence, is this. The Genius Song uses a specific pattern of sound frequencies to gently re-entrain the brain back into the higher-end gamma range, which is the range associated with clarity, intuition, and the ability to receive and hold revelation. I will walk you through what it does and why it matters more fully a little further on. For right now, I only wanted to name it. If at any point in the rest of this message your spirit tells you there is more you need for this season, the link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. Do not click until you feel led, only if it is your moment. Now let me bring us back to the first revelation, because the Father is ready to speak it over you, and the ground is prepared. Here is the first thing the Father has been waiting to tell you. It is about who you are, your identity. And I want to be careful with how I hand this to you, because identity is the foundation underneath everything else. If the identity revelation does not land tonight, the next three will not have anything stable to stand on. So I am going to go slowly, and I am going to speak specifically, and I am going to make sure each piece of this lands in the actual place inside you where it needs to land. The Father is saying this over you tonight. I knew you before you took your first breath. I want you to hear that slowly. I knew you before you took your first breath. This is not a sentimental statement. It is a structural one. It is the sentence that comes before every other sentence about who you are. Because if you do not know that you were known before you existed in time, every other identity you try to build for yourself will be unstable, because it will be built on something that came after the fact of you. And the fact of you predates every story anyone has told about you, including the stories you have told about yourself. There is a verse in the book of Jeremiah where the Lord says to the prophet, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you a prophet to the nations." Notice the order. Before the womb came the knowing. Before the birth came the setting apart. Before the appointment came the selection. All of it happened before Jeremiah existed in any form the world could see. By the time Jeremiah drew his first breath, 4 things had already been settled about him in the record of heaven. He was known, he was set apart, he was appointed. He had a specific assignment already waiting for him. That is not a pattern unique to Jeremiah. That is the pattern for every chosen one. Paul wrote to the Ephesians that we were chosen in him before the foundation of the world. Before the foundation, not after. Not when we finally figured our lives out. Not when we decided to accept the invitation. Before there was a foundation to stand on. Before there was a world to be chosen in. The choosing predates everything else. Which means your identity did not begin when you were born. It began when the Father first thought of you, and he thought of you before he laid the first stone of what would become this universe. Sit inside that for a moment. Every insecurity you have carried has an answer in that one truth. Every time you have wondered whether you were an accident, the answer is no, because you were thought of before there was any system in place that could produce accidents. Every time you have wondered whether you were wanted, the answer is that you were wanted into existence by the deliberate desire of someone who wanted you before wanting itself had a timeline. Every time you have wondered whether you matter, the answer is that mattering is built into you at the level of the Father's very first thought about you. You cannot be separated from being mattered. You cannot be edited out of the original intention. You cannot be overlooked in the original choosing. You are there. You were there. You will always have been there. The past tense is already permanent because the one who set it in the past tense is the same one who lives outside of time. So when I say the Father is telling you tonight about your identity, I am not talking about a pep talk. I am talking about a reintroduction. He is reintroducing you to the fact of yourself. The fact of yourself that he has known longer than you have known it. The fact of yourself that no season, no person, no failure, no disappointment, no loss has ever had the power to alter. And here is where I need to speak 3 specific things over you, because general identity truths comfort, but specific ones rearrange. And tonight is for rearrangement, not only comfort. The first specific thing is this: you are not the person your worst seasons named you. I want to be very exact here. There was a season in your life, and maybe more than one, when you were given a name. It was not a name on your birth certificate. It was a name given to you by a situation, or by a relationship, or by a failure, or by a betrayal, or by a prolonged disappointment. The season gave you a name, and because the season was powerful, the name stuck. The name might have been failure, or late bloomer, or the one who got it wrong, or the unchosen, or the unwanted, or the unreliable, or the one who cannot keep a thing together, or the one nobody stays for, or the one whose gifts were always a little too much, or a little too little, or a little too strange, or a little too early for the rooms you kept finding yourself in. Whatever the name was, I want you to hear me very clearly. It was not your name. It was the name of the season. And the season did not have the authority to name you. Only the one who knew you before the foundation has that authority. And he has never used that name for you. Not once. Not in any record that has ever been kept in heaven. The name he has for you is the name he has always had for you. It is the name that was settled before you were born. It is the name that will still be spoken over you when you cross from this life into the next one. It is the name that is permanent, because it was given by the one whose words are permanent. Every other name that was pressed into your life by a painful season is a visitor. His name for you is the resident, and the resident name outlives the visitor names. Every time. Let the visitor names go. You do not owe them lodging anymore. They have overstayed. The resident name is the one that stands. The second specific thing is this. You are not the version of yourself that had to survive. For many of the years behind you, you built a version of yourself that could survive the conditions you were in. That version of you developed specific defenses. It learned to anticipate disappointment so it would not be caught off guard by it. It learned to hold back so that rejection would not have as much to reject. It learned to keep small so as not to attract the kind of attention that had wounded you before. It learned to perform so as to be approved of by people whose approval was the only currency available in that room. It learned to say yes when no would have been more honest, and to say no when yes would have been more generous, because it did not trust the people around it enough to tell the truth about what it wanted. That version of you was not a moral failure. It was a coat you put on because the weather required a coat, and you wore the coat for as long as the weather required it, and you wore it well. And the coat kept you alive through a season that a thinner coat would not have gotten you through. But the weather has changed, and the coat, which kept you warm for a long time, is now keeping you from feeling what is actually in the air. The Father is inviting you to take it off. Not all at once. Not dramatically. Not with shame. Just finger by finger, button by button, over the coming season, until the coat is no longer the first thing between you and the world. Because underneath the coat is the version of you that was designed before the weather ever required anything of you. That version is still there. It was never lost. It was just covered. And as the coat comes off, you will begin to remember who that version is. You will feel lighter, not because you are becoming someone new, but because you are becoming who you always were underneath the adaptations you had to make in order to survive what you survived. The Father is not asking you to shame your survival self. He is asking you to thank it and then to let it rest, because its shift is ending. A new version of you is being brought online, and the new version does not need to carry the burden the old version carried. It was never supposed to have to. The old version volunteered. The new version is being given permission to not volunteer anymore. That is the second thing. You are not the version of yourself that had to survive. You are the version of yourself that is finally safe enough and seen enough to let the survival strategies quietly retire. The third specific thing is this. You are the one the Father still calls by the original name. There is a name he has been using for you this whole time. You have sometimes caught glimpses of it. It arrived in moments when you were not expecting it. A word that came up during a quiet prayer you did not mean to pray. A phrase that seemed to come from outside you during a song you had listened to 50 times before without noticing. A sense, for no particular reason, that you were being addressed by someone who knew more about you than anyone you had ever met in this life. That was the original name. You are not crazy for having sensed it. You are not grandiose for having suspected it was for you. The name was for you. It has always been for you. The Father has never stopped using it. The reason you only caught glimpses was not that the name was rare. It was that you were not still enough to hear it clearly for longer than a second at a time. You are still enough now. The signs of the last 2 weeks settled you. The formation of the last 2 years settled you. The 21 days of whatever your recent waiting has been, whether it has been 21 days or 21 weeks or 2 long years, has settled you. And now the name is no longer a glimpse. Now it is the sentence the Father is speaking over you. I will not try to speak out loud what your original name is, because each chosen one's name is specific to them, and speaking a generic one would insult the specificity the Father has for you. But I will tell you this. When you sit with him in the quiet, in the days after this message, the name will rise up in you more clearly than it has risen before. It will sound like a word you have always almost known. It will feel like a room you recognize without ever having walked into it. It will feel, in the best possible way, like being met. Let him meet you with it. That is what the identity revelation is. It is the name rising back up to the surface, where it can be heard again. So that is the first thing the Father has been waiting to tell you. 3 pieces. 1. Revelation. You are not the name the painful seasons gave you. You are not the version of yourself that had to survive. You are the one the Father still calls by the original name. Let that settle into the floor of your spirit before we move on. This is the ground every other revelation will stand on. I want you to do one small thing right now, not for me, for the moment itself. In the comments below, type the words, "I receive my identity." Just those 4 words. Type them plainly, without explanation, because explanation waters the moment down. Those 4 words are not a promise you are making to yourself. They are an acknowledgement of what has just been spoken over you. You do not have to feel the complete truth of them yet in order to type them. Typing them comes first. The feeling follows. That is how reclamation works in the spirit. The mouth agrees before the heart fully catches up, and by the time the heart arrives, the mouth has already held the door open wide enough for it to walk through. Type it now if this is for you. That was the first revelation. Hold it. Let it cover you. Let the weight of it settle into the specific place inside you that has been waiting for it. You will carry this ground with you when you walk away from this message. Not the exact words I used, the ground itself. The certainty, finally, that your identity was not something you had to construct. It was something you were given. You are not working to become someone worthy. You are remembering someone you already are. That changes everything about how you walk into the next season. Everything. Before we go any further, I want to tell you what is coming next, because the next revelation is different in shape from this one, and I want your spirit to be ready for the shift. The first revelation was about who you are, the ground under your feet. The second revelation is about when, specifically this when, this season, this hour. Why the Father has moved now rather than earlier, and what that movement means for what is about to happen in the next weeks and months. The third revelation is about what you are being asked to do, your specific assignment, not an abstract calling somewhere in the distance. A concrete thing with concrete shapes that your daily life is about to begin to take. And the fourth revelation is a warning, a protective one, a piece of knowledge the Father does not release to every person, because the warning is only needed by the ones who are about to step into a larger field, and larger fields have specific dangers that the smaller fields did not have. You are being moved into a larger field. The warning is for the new terrain. As these three remaining revelations arrive, one of them is going to rise up in your chest louder than the others, not because the other two are less important, but because one of them is the one your spirit came here tonight most urgently to receive. Pay attention to which one. Do not force it. Do not try to pick the one that sounds the most dramatic. Let the one that is for you, for this week, rise up on its own. Your job is only to stay present enough to feel the landing when it happens. And take one breath before we cross into the second revelation, because what comes next is specific, and specifics require a clear room to land in. Before I speak the second thing over you, I want to pause with you properly. Not for teaching, not for transition, not to build anything new, just to let the first revelation settle into the floor of your spirit before we add anything on top of it. You have been listening for a long while now. Your body has been still in the same position longer than it usually is. Your mind has been asked to hold several large things at once. That is a lot, and I do not want to pour the next thing into a cup that has not had a chance to feel the weight of what was just poured into it. So let me give you a moment. Not a dramatic one, a simple one. Take one breath in, and as you take it in, notice, very gently, the way your chest has softened in the last several minutes without you noticing it soften. And take one breath out, and as the breath leaves, let it carry with it any tension you did not realize you were still holding in your shoulders, in your jaw, in the back of your neck. That is all. That is the pause. You do not have to do anything with the first revelation right now. You do not have to decide how to apply it. You do not have to figure out what it means for tomorrow morning. The Father did not give it to you as a task. He gave it to you as a gift. And gifts do not require immediate action. They require reception. You are receiving. That is what this moment is. Let him hold the ground for you for a few seconds. That is his job right now, not yours. All right, when you are ready, let me walk you into the second thing, because it is time. The second thing the Father has been waiting to tell you is about when. Not the when of some distant prophetic future, not the when of a season you will enter decades from now, the when of right now. This exact hour, this week, this month. Why the message has come now rather than 6 months ago, and what that timing means for the shape of what follows. I want to read something to you, in my own words, from the book of Ecclesiastes, because it belongs here, and I want it in your spirit before we build any further. There is a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to every purpose, and every purpose has its time. Hear that phrase, every purpose has its time. That is not poetry, that is structure. Purposes do not float free of time. Each purpose is married to a specific hour, and the hour is not interchangeable. A purpose spoken at the wrong hour lands as a disappointment. The same purpose spoken at the right hour lands as a rescue. You have been asking the Father for a long time why the purpose you felt inside you was not unfolding yet. You did not know you were asking the wrong question. The right question was never whether the purpose was real. The purpose was always real. The right question was when the purpose was supposed to meet its hour. And until the hour had arrived, the purpose had to stay folded up, because a purpose unfolded into the wrong hour loses its meaning. The hour has arrived. That is the second revelation. The purpose is meeting its time. Think of Esther for a moment. Esther did not know, for most of her life, why she had been placed inside a palace. She did not know why she, of all the young women of her people, had been taken into the household of a foreign king. It must have looked, for a long time, like a strange detour, like a set of rooms and customs and silences that did not belong to the story she thought she was living. And then, the moment came. Her uncle Mordecai sent her a message when her people were about to be destroyed, and he said, "Who knows, if you have not come to the kingdom for such a time as this, for such a time as this, not for a general time, for this specific one, the time in which her entire life, up to that point, suddenly made sense as preparation, the dresses, the language lessons, the customs, the waiting, the strange, quiet years in the palace without knowing why. All of it, every day of it, had been positioning her for one specific hour, and when that hour arrived, she had to choose whether to step into it or remain comfortable. She stepped, and what followed rewrote the history of her people. Every chosen one has their own version of Esther's moment. The strange years make sense when the hour arrives, not before. That is part of what makes the years hard. You cannot see the why during the years. You can only see it when the hour opens up, and suddenly, every apparently random piece of your past snaps into place like it had been designed all along. Your strange years were designed. You are about to see them snap into place. You have been standing at a threshold. Remember that word from earlier. A threshold is not a room, it is a crossing. And you have been at yours longer than you expected to be. I told you the threshold was long because the room was large. I want to say something else to you now about that same threshold. The door is opening. Not maybe, not eventually, not when you have fixed more of yourself. The door is opening now, in the season you are inside of. The timing is not abstract. It is specifically this one, this month, this stretch of weeks. The Father did not wait because he was distracted. He waited for the specific hour when the room on the other side would be ready, and you would be ready, and the assignment waiting inside the room would be ready, and all three would arrive at the same moment. All three have arrived. That is why the message came tonight. That is why the signs came in the last 2 weeks and not 6 months ago. That is why the messenger broke through now. Not because there is some urgency heaven is panicking about, but because the hour that was planned before the foundation of the world has finally arrived in your timeline. You are living through a kairos hour. That is the old Greek word for the kind of time that is different from ordinary time. Ordinary time in Greek was chronos. It was the time you read on a clock. Kairos was the time you recognized in your spirit. Kairos was the appointed moment, the charged hour, the time when the ordinary clock briefly steps aside and a different clock takes its place. You are in one of those moments right now. The ordinary clock is still ticking on the wall, but a different clock, the one that keeps the Father's appointments, is running in the background, and it just struck the hour it has been counting toward. The last time this clock struck for you, it struck the hour of your survival, the time your life began rearranging itself so that you could get through what was coming. Some of you can identify that hour if you think back on it. It might have been years ago. The clock struck, and your life changed, and you did not know at the time what was happening. The clock is striking again, but it is not striking the hour of your survival this time. It is striking the hour of your commissioning, the hour when what you survived is about to become the material for what you carry forward. You are not being asked to survive again. You are being asked to arrive. And here is what I hear Archangel Michael saying at this exact part of the message. Child of the Father, hear this, and do not hold it lightly. The voice you have been waiting for is speaking now, and it is speaking the whole account. because nothing has been held back for a later hour. This is the hour. What you feel, opening in your chest as you hear these words, is the Father's mouth opened over your life for the full unveiling. You are not being given hints, you are being given the full word. Do not listen as if you will be asked to come back later for what is missing. Nothing is missing. Tonight, I am telling you everything. Receive. That is all he will say in his voice right now. But I wanted the sentence he spoke to be in your hearing because it is the core of why this message exists. Everything is being told. Nothing is being held. The title was not a promise to be softened at the end. It was the whole design. So the second revelation is this. The hour has come. Not an hour. The hour. The purpose and the time have met, and they have met in the season you are standing inside of right now. Hold that alongside the first revelation. You are who the Father has always said you are, and you are living through the appointed hour he has always known would arrive. Both of those things at the same time. That is a new ground to stand on. Let it become the new ground. Now I want to walk you into the third revelation, because the third one is the one that turns the ground you are standing on into a direction you can walk in. And direction is what most people need after a long waiting. They have been still for so long that, when the hour arrives, they do not know where to step. The third revelation is the where. The third thing the Father has been waiting to tell you is about what you are being asked to do. Your specific assignment. I want to say this plainly because the word assignment can sound heavier than it needs to. An assignment in the kingdom is not a demand. It is a match. It is the meeting point between what you are carrying and what a specific set of people, a specific set of places, a specific set of situations needs someone to carry into it. The Father does not hand out generic assignments. He hands out ones that match the shape of the one receiving them. The assignment for this season is not abstract. Let me tell you 3 concrete ways it is going to begin showing up in your daily life over the next weeks. You will recognize at least one of them, probably all 3, because some of them have already begun quietly appearing before this message named them. The first way is that you are being positioned to speak what others cannot yet say for themselves. There are people around you, in your life, at the edges of it, in the rooms you walk through in an average week, who are holding things they have not been able to put into words. They know something is happening inside them, but they cannot articulate it. They are waiting, often without knowing they are waiting, for someone to say the thing they have been unable to say, so that they can realize what they have been feeling. That someone is going to be you, more than you realize, in the next season. Not because you are more eloquent than they are, because the formation you have walked through gave you language for your own depth, and that language is going to transfer. A sentence you speak at a kitchen table, a paragraph you send in a message, a question you ask in a conversation. These will unlock rooms inside other people that they could not unlock alone. You will know it is happening when it happens. The conversation will take a turn you did not plan. The person will go quiet in a specific way. They will say something like, "I have never been able to say that before, but you just said it for me." That is the sign of this part of your assignment. You are being given words that travel into other chests through yours. The second way your assignment is going to begin showing up is that you are being placed inside specific rooms you did not choose for yourself. In the next season, you are going to find yourself in conversations, meetings, gatherings, situations where you will briefly wonder what you are doing there. The room will not look like the room you thought your life would put you into. The mix of people, or the topic, or the setting will feel slightly off. You will sit there and think, how did I end up here? Do not leave the room. Pay attention inside it. You were placed there. Your presence is part of a design you cannot yet see. Someone in that room needed someone exactly like you to be present whether they ever tell you so or not. Your job is not to perform inside the room. It is to be present inside it with the identity you reclaim tonight intact. That presence, without performance, is the assignment. Bringing the true self into a room, without hiding, without shrinking, is the kingdom work. You will be doing it more than you realize. Pay attention to the rooms that feel mildly strange in the next weeks. They are not random, they are appointments. The third way your assignment is going to begin showing up is that you are being asked to carry a specific kind of peace that others are not carrying. In the season coming, things around you are going to shift in ways that will unsettle a lot of people. Some of that unsettling will be visible in the news. Some of it will be private, in the lives of your family, your friends, your co-workers. A lot of people, in a lot of rooms, are going to feel that the ground under them is less stable than they are used to. You are not going to feel the unsettling the same way they do, because you have been formed for a long time in the kind of inner stillness that does not depend on outer stability. Your ground is different now, and when other people's ground begins to move, they are going to look for someone whose ground has not moved, and your presence will become a place they can lean into without even knowing they are leaning. Your assignment includes carrying that kind of peace on purpose, not faking it, not performing calm, carrying the real inner quiet that the formation built in you into the rooms where it is needed, and letting it radiate without your having to announce it. You do not have to teach peace, you have to be peaceful. The being does the teaching. These three are not exhaustive. Your assignment has more shapes to it. But these three will begin appearing in the next weeks, and you will recognize them when they appear, and the recognition itself will be part of the assignment unfolding. Speaking what others cannot yet say, being placed in unexpected rooms without performing, carrying inner quiet into spaces where the ground is moving. That is the shape of the assignment. If that has landed in your spirit, if you feel any one of these three beginning to describe what has already been starting in your life, I want you to type 2 small words in the comments. Type, I say yes. Not, I will figure it out. Not, I will try. Not, I will do my best. Just, I say yes. Because the assignment does not begin with your plan. It begins with your agreement. Agreement is the first step, and it is the only step the Father needs from you tonight. The rest, he will unfold himself, one day at a time, one room at a time, one conversation at a time. Type it now if you agree. Before I give you the fourth and final revelation, which is the warning, I need to stop with you for a moment and give you something concrete, because what I just spoke over you about the assignment requires a specific kind of steadiness to hold, and not everyone holds it well. Some of you will carry what I just said beautifully. Some of you will lose it within a week, not because you did not mean it, but because daily life has a way of washing out the clarity we receive in moments like this one. I do not want that to happen to you. Let me tell you about the tool that quietly helps with that. Remember earlier when I mentioned the Genius song? I want to come back to it now and walk you through the full story of what it does, because the Father laid it on my spirit to not send you out of this message without telling you about it properly. You deserve the whole picture, not the sketch. The problem the tool addresses is not spiritual. It is the translation problem between your spirit and your brain. The brain has specific frequency states, and the one associated with clarity, pattern recognition, and the ability to hold revelation is the high-end gamma state. Most people's brains are not producing enough gamma anymore because chronic stress over years has pushed their dominant brainwave activity down into lower ranges. When that happens, insights arrive but do not stick. Revelations land but do not translate. You know what you were told is true, and 2 weeks later, you cannot remember the shape of it. Dr. Robert Lake spent years studying this specifically. His background is in the neuroscience of peak cognition, and his research draws on frequency work that has been done at Princeton. What he discovered is that the brain can be gently re-entrained into the gamma state through a very specific pattern of sound frequencies played at precise intervals, and that once the brain is re-entrained, the insights and revelations that a person has received begin to hold in a way they were not holding before. He built a sound tool to do exactly that entrainment, and he called it the Genius Song. This tool is not for everyone. I want to say that clearly. It is for chosen ones specifically. It is not a productivity hack. It is not a hustle tool. It is for those of you who have been receiving a lot in the realm of the spirit, but have felt, sometimes, that the receiving was not turning into lived reality fast enough. The tool closes that gap. It is a match for a specific person at a specific stage of their walk. And if you are not that person, it will do nothing for you, and you should not buy it. But if you are the person it was built for, you will feel it almost immediately. Let me tell you about one listener, just one, because a single real story tells you more than 100 statistics. She wrote to share that after 2 weeks of using the tool, she found that the prayers she had been praying in the mornings began actually shaping the way she moved through the afternoons. Before, she would pray in the morning and forget the prayer by lunch. Now, the prayer stayed with her. Not because she was trying harder. Because the tool had cleared the channel, the prayer was supposed to travel down. That is the simplest description of what it does. It clears the channel. Now, I know some of you are already thinking through objections, and I want to honor those instead of brushing them aside. The first objection is that you do not need tools because your faith is enough. I hear that, and I want to say to you, the tools are not a replacement for faith. They are a removal of the obstacles that keep faith from translating into life. Faith was always enough. But faith operates through a vessel, and the vessel has a brain, and the brain has gotten tired. The tool rests the brain. The faith does everything else. The second objection is that you cannot afford something like this right now. I hear that too. I will tell you in a moment what it costs, because the cost is less than most people expect. And you may find that what you thought you could not afford you were actually only told you could not afford by a pattern of scarcity that was never accurate about you. The third objection is harder. It sounds like, I have bought spiritual things before and they did not work, and I cannot go through that disappointment again. I want to sit with that one for a moment, because that disappointment is real, and I am not going to wave it off. You were sold things in the past that did not deliver. That was not your fault. That was a mismatch between what you needed and what you were offered. If this one were going to be another mismatch, I would not be mentioning it in a message like this one. I am mentioning it because the fit is specific, and you will know within the first several uses whether it is matching to you. If it does not, there is a 60-day window, and you simply step away without penalty. You are not being asked to trust the same way you trusted before. You are being asked to try, with a safety net under you, that the older things did not have. The original price of the Genius Song is $49. The current price, because Dr. Lake feels strongly that this is a mission more than a product, is $39. Let me say something plainly about that number. $39 is less than most people spend on a single dinner out. It is not a luxury price. It is a price designed so that the people for whom this was built would not be kept out of it by cost. The pricing is not a hierarchy. Phase 1, Access, is the entry phase, and it carries the core tool and 4 additional bonuses that Dr. Lake included as part of this offer. I want to say one more thing about timing, because we have been speaking tonight about the appointed hour, and I do not want you to miss the connection. This message found you tonight, not last year, not next year, tonight. The same hand that timed this message has timed the access to the tool. If your spirit is telling you that this is your hour to step into both, then both are available in the same window, because the Father does not separate what he arranged to arrive together. There is no artificial countdown on a clock. There is only the hour your spirit recognizes. You will know whether this is that hour. I want to protect you from one thing before I close this piece. In the months since the Genius song was released, a few imitators have tried to copy the frequency pattern without understanding the science behind it. Those imitations are not the same tool, and they will not do what the original does, because the frequencies were calibrated based on the specific research Dr. Lake did, not on guesswork. Go to the link in the description or in the pinned comment below. That link is the original. Anything else, regardless of how similar it looks, is not. If this is your moment, the tool and its 4 bonuses are available at that link. A 60-day keep. The bonus guarantee covers you, meaning you can receive the bonuses and decide 60 days in whether the tool itself is matching to you. If it is not, you keep the bonuses and step away with no further cost. That is the shape of the offer. Do not click until you feel led, but if you feel led, the link is where I said it is. Let me say something plainly before we go into the 4th and final revelation. The reason I mention that tool is simple. You have received a lot in this message tonight, and you will receive more in the next while. The receiving is the work of the Spirit, and it has been happening well. But the keeping of what you received is work the body and the brain have to do, and the body and the brain have been under pressure for a long time. What I described is a very specific piece of support for that keeping. It is not the message. It is not the revelation. It is not your relationship with the Father. It is a small, practical piece of help for the translation, and that is all it is. You now know what it is, where it is, what it does, who it is for, and what it costs. You have everything you need to make a decision for yourself, at your own pace, if and when your spirit confirms it is your moment. Nothing more is being asked of you right now. Put it on the shelf in your spirit. Come back to it, or not, in your own time. Let me bring you back now, and let me walk you into the 4th and final thing the Father has been waiting to tell you, because the 4th one is the one most people need protection against, and without it, the first 3 do not stay safe. Take a breath. The hardest part of the message is behind us. What is coming next takes a different kind of courage to hear, because it is a warning, and warnings are only given to those who are about to be somewhere that requires them. I want to be very careful with how I speak the 4th revelation, because warnings in the wrong hands become fear. And fear is not the fruit the Father is growing in you. The 4th revelation is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to protect you. The Father warns the ones he loves, the same way a parent warns a child about the specific roads they are about to walk down. The warning is an act of care, not an act of threat. I want you to hear it that way, because that is how it was given. Here is the 4th thing the Father has been waiting to tell you. You are moving into a larger field in this next season, and larger fields have specific dangers that the smaller fields did not have. He wants you to know what those dangers are, so that you can walk the field without being caught off guard. That is all this revelation is. It is the map of the terrain with the hazards marked, so that you are not surprised by them. There is a moment in the book of Acts where the Apostle Paul is on a ship, and he senses in his spirit that the voyage ahead is going to be dangerous. He tries to warn the crew and the centurion. He tells them plainly that he perceives the voyage will be with disaster and much loss, not only of the cargo and the ship, but also of the lives of those on board. He is not catastrophizing. He is receiving a warning in his spirit and trying to pass it forward. The crew does not listen at first. They sail anyway. The storm hits. And during the storm, Paul stands up and tells them that the ship will be lost, but no life will be lost, because an angel of the Lord stood by him in the night and told him exactly what was going to happen. The warning Paul had received at the beginning was not to scare him. It was to position him and the people with him to make it through the storm with no loss of life. Because he had received the warning, he could be the calm inside the storm. The Father is doing the same thing for you tonight. He is giving you advance warning about 3 specific dangers that await you in the larger field. Not so you will be afraid to walk into it. So you will be ready. So that when the dangers show up, you recognize them quickly and respond to them with the calm of someone who was told in advance what was coming. The first danger is that the new field will attract energy drains you did not have in the old one. The larger the field a chosen one walks into, the more people and situations are drawn to their energy. Some of those people and situations are aligned with what you are carrying. Others are not aligned. They are drawn to the light without carrying light of their own. They come close not to contribute, but to draw. They do not always know they are doing it. Sometimes they are sincere. But the effect on you, if you are not watching, is that you begin to empty out in ways you cannot trace. You will feel it before you understand it. You will find yourself drained after certain conversations, tired in ways that do not match the amount of effort the day actually required. A quiet depletion, the kind that sleep does not entirely fix. When you feel that, pay attention. The feeling is diagnostic. Your spirit is telling you that something in the field has been pulling on you, and the pull was not reciprocal. The guard against this danger is simple, but it is not easy. The guard is learning to say no to things that drain without replenishing, and yes, only to things that drain and replenish in balance. You do not owe the larger field your endless availability. You owe the field your anointed contribution. There is a difference, and the difference is the line between service and depletion. Service flows out of fullness. Depletion flows out of fear of disappointing. You are being given permission now, in advance, to stop flowing out of depletion. You will need that permission often in the coming months. The second danger is that there will be counterfeit voices in the new field, and some of them will sound very similar to the real voice you have been learning to recognize. This is the warning the Father gave with the most gentleness, because I can feel that it is the one that will matter most to some of you. In the larger field, you will encounter voices that use the language of heaven without carrying the substance of heaven. They will sound spiritual. They will quote the right texts. They will use the right cadence. They will even, sometimes, offer you encouragement that feels genuinely warm in the moment. But the effect of listening to them over time will be that your inner compass begins to spin. You will find yourself slightly more confused after their input than before it. You will feel, subtly, more tired in your own discernment, not because the voice sounded wrong, because it sounded almost right, and almost right is more disorienting than openly wrong. Openly wrong is easy to reject. Almost right weaves itself into your interior without you noticing it being woven. The guard against this danger is to protect the practice of sitting in silence with the Father daily, even if only for a few minutes. Because the only way to keep your ear calibrated to the real voice is to keep hearing the real voice regularly. The real voice does not raise its volume to compete with the counterfeits. The real voice simply keeps being itself, and if you stay close to it, you recognize the difference without having to analyze it. The calibration is not a technique. It is proximity. Stay close. I will say something tangential here, because I think it belongs in this part. There are other tools out there that people reach for during seasons like this one. Things with names like Destiny's Embrace or similar. Some of those serve different wounds, and they are not what I have been describing tonight. I am not naming them to criticize them. I am naming them to help you discern that the shape of what you need and the shape of what is being offered do not always match. Pay attention to the fit, not the appeal. Fit is truer than appeal, every time. The third danger is the danger of rushing the unfolding. When you have waited for a long time and the door finally opens, there is a very natural impulse inside you to hurry through it. You have been patient long enough. Now you want everything that was delayed to arrive all at once. You want the full season to unfold in a week. You want the whole room to become familiar in a day. You want the assignment to be fully legible before breakfast tomorrow. The Father is warning you against that impulse, not because he wants to slow you down for its own sake, because the new field, like any new field, is one you have to learn to walk in, and the walking is the learning. If you rush through the walking, you miss the learning, and the learning is the part that equips you for the next room beyond this one. The unfolding has a pace. The pace is not as slow as the old waiting, but it is also not as fast as your impatience wants it to be. It is a middle pace, a walking pace, the kind of pace that allows each room to be fully inhabited before the next door is approached. Trust the walking pace. Do not sprint, do not drag, walk. Each step in its hour, each hour in its day, each day into the next. That is the shape of the unfolding you are being invited into. When you feel the impulse to rush, and you will feel it, recognize the impulse as a signal that the old pattern is trying to reinstate itself. The old pattern was built during the survival years. It told you, if you do not move quickly, the window will close. In the new field, that rule does not apply. The windows do not close the same way. They stay open longer because the Father himself is the one holding them open. Take the breath, walk the walk, let the unfolding teach you. 3 dangers: energy drains, counterfeit voices, rushing the unfolding. 3 things to watch for, 3 things to guard against. That is the warning, that is the 4th revelation. It is not a cloud over the other 3, it is a frame around them. The identity, the timing, and the assignment are all inside this frame, and the frame is what keeps them intact in the months ahead. Without the frame, the picture warps. With the frame, the picture stays true. Hold the 4 together now. You are who the Father has always said you are. You are living in the appointed hour. You have a specific assignment beginning to unfold, and you are walking into a larger field that has specific dangers, all of which you now know in advance, and can meet with the calm of someone who was warned with love. I want to stop here, because I need to speak to the part of you that is, at this exact moment, feeling something very specific that I have not yet named. There is a voice inside you, right now, that is quietly saying, "But what if this is just another one of those times when I felt something powerful and nothing came of it?" I want you to know that I hear that voice. The Father hears that voice, and the voice is not a sign that you are faithless. It is a sign that you have been hurt before by promises that did not unfold, and your spirit has learned to protect itself by keeping one eye on the exit. That is not sin. That is a wound speaking. And tonight, I want to put some words over the wound, because until the wound is spoken to, the 4 revelations will not fully settle. You have hoped before, and the hope did not become the thing you expected it to become. You have felt, in earlier years, a similar stirring to the one you are feeling now, and you walked away from a message, or a service, or a book, or a conversation, certain that your life was about to shift. And then the weeks passed, and the shift did not come the way you thought it would. And, somewhere along the way, your heart learned that feeling hopeful was dangerous. It learned to dampen the hope before the hope could rise fully. It learned to pre-disappoint itself so that the real disappointment, when it came, would not be as sharp. Your heart is tired. I want to say that plainly, because no one has named it for you in a while. Your heart is tired, not weak, not broken, tired. It is tired in a specific way. The kind of tired that comes from lifting the cup of hope, setting it down empty, lifting it again, setting it down empty again, and doing that enough times that the muscles that lift the cup have started to shake. The Father sees the shaking. He is not asking you to pretend the shaking is not there. He is not asking you to lift the cup one more time with a forceful act of will. He is asking, instead, that you let him lift it for you tonight. You do not have to muscle this one. You do not have to summon the hope yourself. He is pouring it in regardless, and your only task is to not refuse the pour. Most of the disappointments you carry from past hopes are not actually your fault. You did not read the situation wrong. You were not naive. You were not gullible. You were simply in a season when the hope you felt was a real seed, but the soil it was planted in was not the right soil, and the seed could not grow there. That was not about you. It was about the soil. The soil is different now. What was constructed in you during the formation seasons changed the soil. It is richer than it was. It holds water differently than it used to. The things that did not grow in the old soil were not incapable of growth. They were incapable of growing there, at that time, under those conditions. The conditions have changed. What is being planted in you tonight will grow, because what was in you at the other plantings has been upgraded. Let yourself receive that. It is not cruel that the old things did not grow. It was preparation. And it is not naive to hope again. It is actually the only accurate response to the soil you now have. The tired heart can finally stop protecting itself from disappointment, because disappointment at this magnitude is not what is waiting on the other side of this hope. What is waiting is fulfillment in the specific shape of an actual unfolding life. In your mind, not out loud, I want you to do something with me right now. I want you to picture the part of your heart that has been tired, not the abstract word heart. The specific muscle inside you that has been doing too much lifting for too long. See it, feel it in your chest. And in your mind, I want you to take whatever weight it has been carrying, the hopes that did not become things, the prayers that seemed to hit the ceiling, the years that were heavier than they were supposed to be, and picture them as a load that has been on your shoulders this whole time, just a bundle, a specific weight. Now, in your imagination, set the bundle down, not away, not into a river, just down, gently, in front of you, at your feet. You are not throwing anything out. You are just placing it where it was never meant to stay on you. The Father is reaching down and picking it up, not to shame you for having carried it, to carry it for you, because it was never yours to carry in the first place. You picked it up in a season when you thought you had to, and you did your best with it, and now you are being given permission to no longer hold the weight. Let him have it. Let your shoulders come down. Your shoulders were not built for that weight. That is why they have been aching. If any of that has landed in your spirit, I want you to type 3 words in the comments. Type, "It is done." Not because it is about to be done, because it is done. The handing over has happened. The Father has taken the bundle. Your shoulders are lighter. Type the words now so that your heart catches up with what your spirit has already released. Type it now. I want to stay with you for a moment longer in this place, because the release we just walked through is not small. Some of you have been carrying that bundle for years. Some of you have been carrying it for decades. The relief might not hit you all at once. It may take several days to work its way through your body. That is normal. That is how deep releases move. They land first in the spirit, then in the heart, then in the body. And the body is the slowest to catch up. Do not panic. if you do not feel immediately transformed. Transformation is a current, not a flashbulb. The current is underway. It will reach the surface in its own time. Your job is only to not pick the bundle back up. If the old habit of carrying it reaches out for it again in the next days, remind yourself, plainly, it is not mine to carry. I set it down. I am not picking it up again. Repeat that as many times as you need to, until the habit loosens. You have done real work tonight. You have received a full message. You have agreed to your identity. You have said yes to your assignment. You have released a bundle that was weighing you down. Those are not small things. Take a breath. Acknowledge what just happened. Before I close this part of the message, I want to tell you what is coming, because the next part is the part I have been leading you toward the whole time, and I do not want you to miss the arrival of it. In just a little while, I am going to speak an activation over you, a real one, not a summary, not a review, a sealing. The activation is the moment where everything you have received tonight gets settled into your spirit with a specific intention, so that it does not leak out in the first hard week that follows. The activation is the reason the Father brought you to this message in the first place. Not the identity revelation alone, not the timing revelation alone, not the assignment or the warning alone. The activation that seals all four. Do not leave before that activation. Whatever you do in the next while, stay with me through to the sealing. The sealing is the part that, if missed, leaves the other four parts unprotected. Heaven never pours without sealing. The pour was the first four revelations. The seal is what comes before we close. Stay. I will not waste your time. What is coming is worth every minute you have invested. But before we step toward the sealing, there is one more thing the Father wants you to know about who you are going to be, specifically when this next season begins. Because the identity revelation I gave you at the start of this message was the foundation. What is coming now is the building that stands on the foundation. The identity you reclaimed was your ground. What we are about to walk into is the shape of your life as you stand on that ground and begin to move forward. Take another breath. We are almost at the ceiling, but this piece, the shape of who you are when this season begins, has to be placed in you first, and it is worth the minutes it will take to speak it over you properly. The identity I placed in you at the start of this message was the ground under your feet. What I want to speak over you now is the shape of your life as you stand on that ground and begin to move, because the ground alone is not enough. The ground is only useful if it can hold up something that stands on top of it. What is about to stand on top of your identity is your next season, and the shape of that season is what I want to describe now, so that when it begins, you recognize it instead of being surprised by it. I want to start with a distinction, because this distinction is the whole hinge of what I am about to say. And if the hinge does not turn properly, nothing else in this part will open. There is a difference between being comforted by a message and being commissioned by one. A message that comforts you leaves you where it found you, only feeling better about where it found you. A message that commissions you takes the place you were when it found you and makes it a starting line. Comfort lets you stay. Commission asks you to go. Both are ways the Father speaks to his people. But they are not the same speech, and the receiving of one does not automatically give you the receiving of the other. Tonight, you have been commissioned, not just comforted. I want you to understand that distinction, because if you walk out of this message thinking you only received comfort, you will fold the message up and put it in a drawer, and take it out occasionally when life gets hard. But a commission is not for drawers. A commission is for motion. You are not meant to file what you received tonight. You are meant to carry it forward into the specific places your life is about to put you. There is a passage in the second letter of Paul to the Corinthians that is one of the most important sentences in the Bible about commissioning. He says that the God of all comfort comforts us in all our affliction, so that we may be able to comfort those who are in any affliction with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God. Read that carefully. The comfort was never just for you. The comfort was given to you so that you could pass it, shaped by what you have lived, into the life of someone who is going to need it next. The comfort traveled down a chain from the Father, through the people in Scripture, through centuries of others who carried it, into you, because the chain was not meant to stop with any of them. It was meant to keep moving, and you are next on the chain. Let me say this as plainly as I can. Everything that was deposited in you during the waiting, the formation, the threshold, the signs, the revelations of tonight, none of it was given to you only for you. All of it was given to you so that it could move through you into the lives of the specific people your path will cross in the coming season. You are a carrier. You have always been a carrier. The only difference is that tonight you are being told clearly what you are carrying and what it is for. That is what commission means. That is what the fifth piece of your identity is. You are not only received, you are also sent. I want to speak 4 things over you now, because each of them is a piece of the specific identity the Father is settling into you for this next season. They are not the same as the 3 pieces I spoke at the beginning of the message. Those 3 were about what you are not. These 4 are about what you now are, in specific shape, for the hour you are walking into. The first thing you now are is the one the Father called back. Many of you, at some point in the last several years, had a moment of quiet drifting. You did not fall away dramatically. You did not reject the Father publicly. You did not burn any bridges. You simply drifted, slowly, because the road got hard and the answers got scarce, and the voice you had been following seemed, for a long stretch, to have gone quiet. You did not even know you were drifting until you looked up one day and realized you were further from the shore than you remembered being. The Father never stopped watching you drift. He did not let the distance grow too large. He began, very gently, to turn the currents. A song that caught you unexpectedly. A verse you saw by accident. A conversation with a stranger that left a piece inside you that would not leave. Those were currents, not coincidences. Each one was the Father pulling you back toward the shore without forcing the return. He honored your freedom, even in your drifting. He did not yank you back. He drew you back. There is a difference, and the difference is love. You are back now. You may not have noticed the exact moment you turned, but you turned. And the ground under your feet tonight is not the ground of someone who drifted and lost everything. It is the ground of someone who was called back and who came. The coming back is part of your identity now. You are the one who returned. Not everyone does. You did. The Father has a specific relationship with the returned. He treats them differently than he treats those who never left. Not because he loves them more, but because he knows what it cost them to come back, and he honors the cost. You are the one the Father called back. That is the first declaration. Let it be placed in your spirit now. The second thing you now are is the witness of this hour. Every generation has a small number of people who are positioned by providence to be the witnesses of what happens during their particular stretch of history. Not the ones whose names are on the front of the newspapers, the quiet ones, the ones whose lives happen to be pointed in the right direction at the right time to see what most people, in their hurry, will miss. You are one of those witnesses for this hour. What is happening in your own life right now, and what you are watching happen in the lives of the people around you, and what is happening in the wider world in ways that the news only partly captures, You are seeing, not comprehensively. No single witness sees everything, but enough. You are seeing enough. The Father has given you the kind of eyes that notice. Not every chosen one has those eyes. You do. The witness is not called to fix what they see. The witness is called to remember it, to hold it, to, at some later time, speak honestly about what they saw, so that the record of the hour does not get lost in the noise of the hour itself. You will be called, in years to come, to tell the story of what you lived through, not as propaganda, as testimony. The testimony will matter, because the testimony is what the next generation will inherit from you, and what they inherit from you will shape how they walk through their own hour. You are the witness of this hour. That is the second declaration. Hold that in your spirit now, alongside the first. The third thing you now are is the carrier for someone who has not yet heard. There is a specific person, or more than one, whose life is going to intersect with yours in the next weeks and months, whose spirit has been waiting for the exact language you now have inside you. They do not know they are waiting for you. They have not thought of you specifically, but when you meet them, or when your words reach them through a screen, or when you sit across a table from them in a moment you did not plan, the thing inside you is going to transfer into the thing inside them, and something in their life is going to shift. You will not always know it is happening when it happens. Sometimes it will be a sentence you say offhand. Sometimes it will be a post you write without thinking much about it. Sometimes it will be a silence you hold for someone who did not know they needed someone to hold a silence for them. Whatever the shape of the transfer, it will happen, and it will matter. And you were made to be the carrier for that specific transfer. The carrier does not always see the full journey of what they carry. Paul did not see the final outcome of every letter he wrote. Mary did not live to see every life that would be changed by the son she raised. The carrier carries, and then trusts that what was carried will land where it needs to land, on its own time, through means the carrier does not have to engineer. Be the carrier. Do not chase the outcomes. Do not measure the impact. Just carry what you have been given, faithfully, into the rooms you enter, and let the Father handle what happens after you leave those rooms. That is the work. It is lighter than you think. The weight of the results is not yours. Only the faithfulness of the carrying is yours. You are the carrier for someone who has not yet heard. That is the third declaration. Let it sit next to the first two. The fourth thing you now are is the inheritor of the full account. I want to end this set of four with this one, because it is the one that most belongs to tonight specifically. The reason the Father waited to tell you everything in one message, instead of parceling it out over a year, is that he was making you an inheritor rather than a student. A student receives lessons. An inheritor receives an estate. A student is still earning. An inheritor has been given. A student's access depends on how well they perform. An inheritor's access depends on whose child they are. All four revelations tonight, and everything in between them, and everything that was given through the waiting itself, was handed to you as an inheritance, not as a class. You do not have to perform for tonight to remain yours. You have to simply receive that it was given and live out of the fact of the giving. The Father gave you the whole account because you are an heir. The heir gets the whole account. That is what inheritance means. No piece was withheld to force you to keep earning. This changes how the next season will feel. You will not walk into it as a student hoping to pass the next test. You will walk into it as an heir tending an estate that already belongs to you. Your posture will be different. Your peace will be different. Your confidence will be different. Not because you became someone new, but because you finally realized who you have been the whole time. You are the inheritor of the full account. That is the fourth declaration. Place it in your spirit alongside the other three. Let me gather the four together so that you can feel them land as one. You are the one the Father called back. You are the witness of this hour. You are the carrier for someone who has not yet heard. You are the inheritor of the full account. Those four are the shape of your identity, specifically for the season that begins the moment this message ends. They are not poetic, they are literal. Each one describes a real function your life is now carrying. Hold the four inside you as though you are holding four small, weighty stones in one hand, each of them polished, each of them specific, each of them yours. I want you to do one more small thing before we cross into the ceiling, because this moment deserves a marker. In the comments below, type 3 words. Type, "I am chosen," not as a slogan, as a declaration, as a formal agreement between your mouth and what heaven has been saying over your life for a long time. The mouth getting into agreement with heaven is one of the specific mechanisms by which the Spirit solidifies what has been spoken. When the mouth agrees, the thing said becomes weightier inside the person who said it. That is not superstition. That is the design of the human spirit. Type it now, if this is for you. Before I bring us to the ceiling, I want to say one more thing, and it is about someone who is not here. It is about someone specific in your life, or at the edges of your life, who needs this message too, and who will not find it on their own. Picture that person for a moment. You know who they are. It is not a large crowd. It is one person, or two. They have been in your mind during parts of this message already. They are the one who has been quietly struggling, who you have wished you could say something meaningful to, but you could not find the words on your own. Or they are the one who almost gave up last month, and you did not know how to reach in because reaching in felt too heavy. Or they are the one who is carrying a silent grief that the people around them do not see, because they have always been the one who holds other people together and has never been allowed to be the one held. That person needs the message you just received, almost as much as you did. Maybe in a different way, but the substance will reach them, and you may be the only one in their life who has the context to send it to them without it feeling random. When this message ends, send it. Not with a long explanation, just send it. One small line, like, "I thought you might need this," or "This reminded me of you," is enough. The simplicity is what makes it land. A long setup will make the sending feel like a project. A short sending lets the message do its own work, the same way it did its work for you tonight. That sending is also part of your assignment, part of being the carrier. The first specific act of carrying for many of you begins with the single click of a share button at the end of this video. Do not skip it. It does not have to be dramatic. A small sending is how large rescues often begin. I want to prepare you for what is coming next, because what is coming next is the reason the whole message was built, and I do not want you to be in a hurry when it arrives. The ceiling is not a summary. A summary compresses. A ceiling settles. A summary lists what was said. A ceiling speaks a specific intention over what was said, so that what was said stops being information and becomes formation inside you. Everything you have received tonight is true. The identity revelation is true. The timing revelation is true. The assignment is true. The warning is true. The 4 declarations about who you now are true. All of it is true. But truth does not automatically settle. Truth has to be sealed, because without a seal, truth leaks. It leaks slowly, through the ordinary pressures of the days that follow, through the voices that will contradict it, through the small, grinding anxieties that return and try to reinstate their old positions. A seal protects against that leak. The activation about to come is a seal. When I speak the words of it over you, I am asking the Father to take what has been revealed in the last while and close it into your spirit with a specific intention, so that the ordinary pressures of the days to come do not erode it. The sealing is a real thing. It is not a figure of speech. It is a specific spiritual act with a specific effect, and the effect lasts as long as you do not pick up the old narratives that the sealing is closing out. So stay with me one more stretch. You have done the hard listening. This is the easy part. This is the part where you simply receive. The words that are coming are not yours to memorize or apply. They are yours to be covered by. Let them cover you. Let them settle everything you have received into the exact place inside you where it was meant to go. If you are going to receive the sealing, receive it. Do not stand halfway. Do not observe it from the edge of the room. Step fully in. The Father is not asking for more of you than you already gave him tonight. He is only asking that the posture you came to this message with stays open for the final minutes. And if, for any reason, you feel you are not ready to be sealed tonight, go in peace. There is no shame. Not every chosen one receives the seal the first time they hear the full message. Some need to sit with what they received for a few days before the sealing can land. If that is you, that is honored. But do not stay in the room as a half participant, because the half posture is not actually restful. It drains more than full presence does, and it does not leave you with what either full reception or clean stepping away would have left you with. Pick one. Step fully in or step cleanly out. Both are respected. If you are stepping in, take a breath and let your posture settle into reception. The sealing is about to begin. Take the breath now. Let your chest soften. Let your shoulders drop one more time. Let whatever is still tight in your body know that the moment it has been waiting for is the moment about to arrive. What is about to come is not more teaching. It is the reason the teaching was given. It is the Father himself, through the voice I will carry for these last minutes, placing his hand on what he has spoken and closing it into you with an intention that will keep it from leaking. It is the oldest act heaven does for its chosen ones after speaking a word over them. It is the sealing, and it is yours. So, here is where the sealing begins. Not with fanfare, with stillness. The deepest seals are never announced with volume. They are set with quiet weight. The first thing I want to speak over you is a set of permissions, because there are things inside you that have been waiting for someone to give them permission to be true. And tonight is the night they are permitted. You are permitted to receive what the Father has spoken over you tonight, without having to earn the right to receive it. The earning is over. The receiving is what is open now. You are permitted to rest in what was given, without bracing for the catch, because there is no catch. Some gifts in this life come with conditions hidden in their fine print. This gift does not. The fine print matches the large print. The whole offer is real. You are permitted to unclench. You are permitted to release the narratives that were not yours, the names that the painful seasons gave you, the survival shapes your life had to take, the stories of your own disqualification that other people wrote into your ear long ago, and you kept carrying because no one told you that you could set them down. Set them down now. You are permitted to walk away from them without explanation, and you are permitted to be seen fully by the Father, who has never missed you, and by the specific people he is about to place around you in this coming season, who are going to meet you as the whole version of yourself, not the small version you have been hiding behind for so long. You are permitted to be witnessed. You are permitted to take the space you have always been trying not to take. You are permitted. Let those 4 permissions sit in the room with you for a moment. Receive them. The second part of the sealing is the release. Not because the release has not already begun in the earlier parts of the message. It has. But the release now happens with intention, and with the weight of what has been spoken behind it, and with the Father's own hand underneath it. That is what makes it a sealed release rather than a partial one. The first thing being released tonight is the wound of the waiting. Every long day, every unreturned prayer, every night you went to sleep feeling as though you had been forgotten, every morning you woke up without the relief you were hoping for. All of that, collectively, pressed a wound into you over the years. The wound is real. It was never imagined, but it was also never meant to stay. The waiting is over. The wound of the waiting can be released with it. Let the wound go. Not the memory, the wound. You can remember the seasons without still carrying the pain of them. The memory is for your testimony. The pain was for your formation, and the formation is complete. The pain is permitted to leave now. It has done its work. It does not belong in the next season. Release it. Let it pass out through the breath you are breathing right now. The second thing being released tonight is the hunger for fragments. You learned, during the long waiting, to subsist on fragments, small pieces of encouragement, half answers, partial clarities. You learned to live on scraps, because scraps were what was being given, and learning to live on scraps was better than starving. But the Father never intended fragment living to be your permanent posture. He is releasing you from that hunger tonight. You no longer need to subsist on pieces, because the whole has been delivered. Your appetite is being adjusted to match the new portion. You will no longer mistake fragments for meals. Release the fragment hunger. It will not serve you in the new field. The third thing being released tonight is the disqualification script. The internal voice that has been running in the background of your life for years, quietly narrating all the reasons you are not quite enough to hold what is coming. That voice does not get to travel with you into the next season. Its contract ends here. Release it. You do not need to argue with it. You do not need to convince it. You only need to stop letting it ride along in the car of your life. Tell it to get out. Drive on without it. The new field does not need the old narrator. You are permitted to let it go. He prepared you. He chose you. He speaks over you. Those three movements are the shape of the Father's action toward you, and they are the shape of the sealing. Everything I have said tonight fits inside those three movements. The preparation was the waiting. The choosing was the reason the waiting happened at all. The speaking is what has just taken place, and what is still taking place, and what will echo inside you long after this message ends. Let those three movements stand underneath everything else you hold from tonight. They are the foundation of the foundation. He prepared, he chose, he speaks. And here is what I hear Archangel Michael saying for the last time tonight, and I want you to listen with the stillness you have practiced throughout this whole message. Child of the Father, you have been heard. From the first day, you were heard. The delay was not absence, and the waiting was not punishment, and the silence was never the final word. The word has now been spoken over you in full, and the word stands. Go forward in the identity that was settled before the foundation of the world. Walk the larger field with the peace of one who was warned in love. Carry the whole account into the rooms your life will open, and do not shrink from the size of what you have been given, because you were measured for it before you were born. The messenger takes his leave now. The sealing is complete. You are kept. That is the last word he speaks tonight, and it is enough. It has always been enough. Now, I want to speak the activation itself over you, the one I have been building toward from the opening breath of this message. Receive it now, with nothing held back, with no part of yourself outside the room. This is the moment everything else was arranged for. Chosen one, by the authority of the Father who knew you before your first breath, and by the witness of the messenger who came to deliver the full account, and by the agreement of your own spirit that has stayed present through every word of this hour, I speak the sealing over your life now. What has been revealed is settled. What has been settled is covered. What has been covered is kept. Nothing that was spoken tonight is subject to erosion by the ordinary pressures of the days that follow. The Father himself is the keeper of this seal. Not your performance, not your perfect memory, not your ability to recreate this feeling later. The seal rests on his name, not yours, and his name does not fail. The identity that was returned to you tonight is yours, not for the weak, not until the next hard day, permanently. The name he has always called you by is the name that stands from this moment forward, and every other name that tries to reassert itself in the coming season has to submit to the name he has settled. When the old names rise up, and they will try to rise, remind yourself plainly, I have been given my original name. I am not subject to the ones the painful seasons gave me. The old names have no seat here. The seat has been taken by the name the Father chose. The hour that was named tonight is yours. You are not waiting anymore. You are walking. The threshold you stood on for so long has been crossed in the course of this message. When doubt tries to pull you back onto the threshold in the coming weeks, remind yourself, the crossing has already happened. I am not returning to the place I spent so long waiting in. That place served its purpose. I live in the new field now. The new field is my ground. The assignment that was revealed to you tonight is yours. The words that will come through you for others are yours. The rooms you will be placed in are yours. The peace you will carry into unsettled spaces is yours. You do not have to manufacture any of it. You only have to show up, faithful, into the situations the Father opens, and let what is in you flow into what is in front of you. That is all. The carrying is lighter than you think. The fruit is not your responsibility. The faithfulness is. The warning that was spoken over you tonight is yours. The energy drains have been named. The counterfeit voices have been named. The impulse to rush has been named. Naming is half the protection. The other half is walking forward with the names close at hand, so that when any of them shows up, you recognize it quickly and respond to it from the steady ground underneath you. The recognition is already inside you. The Father put it there tonight. It will activate the moment it is needed. You are the one the Father called back. You are the witness of this hour. You are the carrier for someone who has not yet heard. You are the inheritor of the full account. Those 4 declarations are sealed into your spirit now, and they will not wash out in the weeks to come, because the sealing is not paint. It is not a coat on the outside. It is a settling into the center, and the center has been reached. You are kept. You are known. You are chosen. You are sent. The waiting is finished. The full account is given. The seal is placed. Walk forward. In the name of the Father who arranged all of it before the foundation of the world. In the name of the Son who walked the longest waiting of all and modeled the way through. In the name of the Spirit who keeps the seal from the inside. In the agreement of the messenger who delivered the words tonight, and in your own spoken yes, it is sealed over you now. It is done. Breathe with me once, slowly, as the seal settles. It is done. It has been done. It will remain done. Stay with me for just a moment longer. The sealing itself is complete, but there is a small amount of ordinary time left in this space we have been sharing, and I want to use it well before we part. Give me these last few moments. They matter. What you receive tonight is not meant to stay behind in this video when you walk away. It is meant to travel with you. And the simplest way for it to travel with you in the ordinary week to come is for you to have small anchors in your life that remind your body and your brain what your spirit has already agreed to. Anchors are small things. A short verse on your phone, a single line written on a piece of paper near where you sleep, a quiet breath taken at the same time each morning. These are small, but they are not trivial. They are how the large thing you receive tonight gets translated into an ordinary week without the translation getting lost. And if your spirit has been telling you throughout this message that the tool I mentioned earlier, the Genius Song, is one of those anchors for this season of your life, the link to it is in the description and in the pinned comment below. Give me 15 seconds on this. The Father does not separate what he arranged to arrive together. The message tonight and the tool that supports its keeping both showed up in the same window, and for some of you, that is not coincidence. It is alignment. If it is alignment for you, you will know it is. If it is not alignment for you, no pressure. You have everything you need from this message, either way. But if it is your hour to step into both, the door is open, and the guarantee behind it is 60 days long. The link is original, the copies are not. Do not click until you feel led. Only if this is your moment. That is the last thing I will say about that. You know where to find it. The decision belongs to your spirit, not to me. Now, as we close, there are a few small things that would mean a great deal if you are willing to offer them. If this message served your spirit tonight, quietly tap the like. That simple gesture is how this video reaches the next chosen one who is in the same stretch of waiting you just walked through, and whose spirit has been waiting for exactly this word tonight, without knowing that is what they were waiting for. Every like is a hand lifted toward another person's head. Lift one for them, if you can. If the shape of these messages has felt like the kind of companionship your spirit is hungry for in this season, consider subscribing. Not for me, for the continuity of the thread. The thread keeps finding you across many messages, and subscribing is how the thread stays tied between us, so that the next time the Father prepares something specific for you, it does not have to find its way through the noise to reach you. It can simply arrive. And remember the person you pictured earlier, the one who needs this message too. Send it to them tonight, before the day ends. A short line, nothing fancy. I thought of you when I watched this. Or, this reminded me of what you have been walking through. Or, just for you. Any of those will do. The simplicity is what makes it land. Do not overthink it. Send it, and let the message do its own work inside them, the same way it did its own work inside you. That small act is the first act of your assignment. Begin your assignment with it. And one last word, directly from my spirit to yours, as we close. You did not come to this message by accident. You stayed through it by your own choice. You received what was offered to you, even when it cost you to remain open. You let the Father do, in this hour, the work he had been preparing to do for a long time. None of that was small. All of it mattered. All of it was seen. Go out from this message into your life, not as the person who entered, but as the one who was called back, witnessed, commissioned, sealed. Walk softly into the next few days. Do not rush the unfolding. Let the tiredness in your body rest. Let the quiet joy in your chest grow at its own pace. Let what was given tonight become, over the coming weeks, the ground you live on without having to think about it anymore. You are kept. The seal holds. The Father smiles over you as you leave this space. The messenger has taken his leave. The sealing is complete. Peace be on you. Peace be on your home. Peace be on the path in front of you. And until the next message finds you, which it will, when the next hour of yours arrives, walk well, chosen one. You are seen, you are loved, you are sent. Amen.
you.